All right, everybody. It's been a minute, but welcome back to the Ridgeline Hunting Podcast, brought to you by Phelps Game Calls, professional grade game calls made for every hunter. And today we have a special guest in studio. It's actually our first guest in studio since our very first podcast. Our friend Shannon. Shannon, welcome.
What up? What up? How's everybody doing? I'm
Good.
honored.
Awesome.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
What are you doing with the hat?
I'm just shaking up the tickets for the
Okay.
drawing.
All right.
That's
just
right.
making
That's
sure.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, here later in the episode, we are going to be giving away the Phelps Predator Call, the Fawn Jack, and Shannon's going to help us out with that. So
Hopefully I have my number in there. Hopefully I'm walking away with it.
That's what I thought you were doing. That's why I had to check it out. Like, hey, what's going on there?
I just slipped in my own personal number.
What do they call that?
I don't know.
Loading the box or whatever?
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
But today we're actually going to be talking to Shannon about fishing, and not just any type of fishing. We're going to be talking about bass fishing, something that I love to do. I'm not on Shannon's level, and that's why we have him in here. And we're actually really excited to have Shannon in here. He's a good friend of ours, and last year I actually got to hunt with Shannon again. We have like maybe every other year we get to hunt together, and last year was pretty fun.
It was a good time. It was fun. Memorable. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. We did see some bucks. Never got a chance to arrow one, but we had good times and good conversations, man.
Yeah, definitely. It was a lot of fun. It was hell getting
Yeah.
up to where we needed to go, but Shannon made me feel like a pussy when I got up to the top. But it made my heart full though, because
I was there
was just-
repping, yo.
yeah, it was just
I was just so happy you made it. But on the way down, we both had blisters, hot sores.
spots,
Yeah,
yeah.
hot spots. We hit the creek and soaked our feet for like an hour. It was a brutal.
Now, when we say crick, we're talking about the local bar.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
local to that spot.
yeah, exactly.
We're going to soak our feet for an hour before we head home, okay?
Yeah, it was a must.
Yeah,
Our feet were burning.
yeah, it was awesome.
Good times.
But yeah, Shannon, actually, you were just explaining before we went started hitting record here. You actually just went bass fishing this past Sunday, so we're actually recording this. We usually record every Tuesday, so you guys won't hear this until next Monday. But Shannon just got back from fishing solo.
Yeah. So let's see here. I'm pulling up the date. June 4th. Local lake, body of water. Had a couple hours in the morning. Decided to hook up the boat and head out and just see what the conditions were and seeing if I could get on a couple fish before I got home to do some honeydews, So the wife let me get out for a couple 4 hours, and yeah, it was a good time. Fish are biting. If I encourage anybody that's wanting to get out now. Fish are spawning, kind of transitioning into the post spawn. They're hungry.
Now, you were saying that you had you were seeing fish, but they were kind of small, and then you caught two that were 5+.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Hold on. Before Shannon gets into that, the ones that he was passing up, I would definitely be catching.
Yeah.
Those
no,
are
I'm just gonna bring that up right now.
Yeah. Any other day, I would have been dropping a lure on them for sure. But when they're posted up on beds, after a couple, a handful of threes, you start to search for a bigger fish. I'm always going out trying to break my PB, personal best.
What is a PB? What is your PB?
My PB
Now,
is
hold on. Smallmouth, largemouth. Let's go with smallmouth first.
Well, on record, I caught what was it? A 5-pound 3-4 out of Banks Lake 5 years ago, walleye fishing. So in my book, it doesn't count.
Bycatch.
Right. I wasn't targeting the species, and I just, at the time, I put a scale on it, recorded it. But so smallmouth is, I want to say it's high fours. Haven't really got over that 5-pound benchmark yet. So I'm kind of not recording my PB on a smallie yet. So I target both species, of course, but I'm always trying to break my like largemouth PB for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
So are smallmouth in Washington
hold up.
State typically?
my PB for largemouth, we can't leave that out.
Yeah.
7.89. I'm so proud of it.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, man.
It took me 2.5 years to break my old PB, which was 6.03 pounds. So, hey man, just, you never know. Any given day you can go out and just break it, and that's what I'm chasing. So,
Yeah.
That's a large mouth.
especially for the Northwest. But there's bigger fish out there, and I mean, people, if you get out and just get your line wet.
I gotta throw this out there. So Shannon's from same area I'm from, Grahamtown, and there's a world famous lake, Kapowson Lake.
Come
Now,
on,
back
you're not
in the
supposed
day-
to talk about Cape.
No, we got to talk about it. 90s K-Pow is something else.
Yeah.
They had the old Polaroid board in there,
Yep.
and you seen.
Oh,
I don't know how big they were because I can't remember, but
tanks.
they were
10-pounders.
and
double digit.
and you're like, holy crap! Off that dock at what was the name of that dock?
Man, that thing has my childhood memory written all over it. I cannot remember the bait. It was a little tackle
bait
shop.
Yeah.
It was awesome. You
That
could
was-
rent
that was
little
our-
boats.
That was our honey hole too.
Oh, it
man.
was-
Kapowson was,
Man,
and it still is.
Erickson's
Something
boat
out
launch.
there.
Erickson's boat
yeah,
launch.
and it's still.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
you're
it.
right. Good job. Good memory.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah.
The new property owner, I mean, it's not up and running, but he kept it and kept it alive. So every time I pass that when I'm out at Kapowson, it just, I don't know, man. It just gives me, hometown vibes,
My old memory when I was growing up, my mom used to drop us off at Erickson's, me and a friend of mine, and I think it was like $20 with a Minn Kota trolling motor. If you got the trolling motor, you're doing something because we rode for a long time. We're like, Mom, we need the $8 more. We got to get the motor with the battery.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And it was a trip
Such a good
because
time.
it rained so much here. They would always the boats are wooden, and it rained so much. You're like, here's your bucket, and here's your sponge, and you're like, what the hell? What is this for? Like, well, the boat starts leaking, you got to do the thing and get the water out.
Yep.
But one of my best memories on that lake was back behind the island. I'd casted a little, I think it was a topwater spin bait, and this bass just exploded out of there, and you could see the ring around his mouth just coming out of the water, and I never can forget that. And I was probably only 14, so bass fishing to me, I've been talking about fishing almost. I try to sneak it in every episode, but
Yeah.
this is the one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my PB.
Hey.
It's a memory.
Yeah. And they stick with you. Lifetime memory. And that's what I'm chasing every time I go out, is that memory.
That's awesome.
It was amazing that 7.89 pound bass was caught a year ago on Easter morning, Sunday morning with my son.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, cherish that moment more than, I don't know. I mean, it's top 10 moments because his face, he was just, Dad, it's a giant. And I opened that live well after I caught it to put record the weight and stuff. And it just moved its body just a little and banged up against the walls of the live well. And he about freaked out. And, he went to net it and almost tripped over the net in the boat. And it took everything he could to pull that fish and net up over the side of the boat to get it in. But hey,
So he netted your PB. That's awesome.
yeah.
You know what's cool though is that he will always remember that as well. So it's not just a memory that you're gonna have forever, but it's also a memory that you and your son are gonna have forever.
Passing them down just like our childhood memories, right?
Yeah.
They stick with you. So
Yeah. So you're doing tournament fishing as well?
yeah. So with the tournaments, I'm part of a local group called Lakewood Master Bassers. It's a 15 boat max club, trolling motor only. We do local lakes around here. Currently, I think we only have 12 or 13 boats signed up. So there's still a few slots that could be filled if anybody's looking to just get out to local lakes. We do pretty much a tournament once a month, 7 tournaments throughout the season, and it's a good time. Good stepping stone to tournament bass fishing. You meet a variety of sticks, guys that can fish big pro, tournaments to guys that are just starting off, and everybody's super knowledgeable and everybody shares, any advice and data and, what how they caught the fish that day. And it's just a good group of guys. Look it up, Lakewood Master Bassers. It was founded, I think, back in 2013 by a guy that goes by on like Instagram, that guy Skimpy. He also does YouTube videos, tutorials, molds his own baits. Heck of a guy, stand-up guy. Just, yeah, man, a great stepping platform for anybody that's looking to get out and do a little bit of competitive fishing around here local.
So have you gone and like moved to another level from the local tournaments or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm branching out. Bass fishing could get expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
So,
Especially now with gas and stuff.
Just
Oh.
like anything.
100%.
Like, I'm looking for the trolling motor tournament. I don't know the gas motor. You forget that.
Yeah, it's
$6 a gallon. I don't think so.
and it's a lot of fun. But I've tried to expand my horizon on it because I am such a competitive guy, just like you two.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what's my next step if I want to, be a better angler, push my limits. So I've signed up for these open tournaments that are, I don't know, kind of promoted and put on by some of these bigger, marine shops, that kind of sponsor it. And we're talking, 100 plus boats. You could win a boat. And I'm going out there, with the experience I have and, humbleness and just anybody can, fishing is, half of it is skill and half of it is luck. And my dad always said I would take being lucky than good any day. So,
Yeah.
and with fishing, yeah, of course, there's a lot of skill and technique and stuff, but some of these tournaments, you can go out and figure out that bite, and you can catch a big bag, and you could, start cashing checks or win a boat, for
Now-
instance. So,
Have you ever cashed a check?
I did recently at the Nixon's Marine Big Bass Tournament. I took second place in the 4th or 5th hour.
Damn.
And man,
Congratulations, man.
thank you.
That is
It
awesome.
felt so good. And I mean, just so honored to even be around a class of guys like that. I mean, there was, guys that have been fishing, Potholes Reservoir, I mean, for 20 plus years, but it was a hard bite. I figured it out quick. I figured out the pattern, and I stuck with it. And, I've got some mentors that, I look for advice also. And, they pushed me, and they've helped me along my journey of bass fishing. And, I always take a little bit from everything. Anybody that I, connect with or meet, for instance, I'm always trying to look at something positive or something good that I can take from them and kind of, correlate it into my own game. So man, something about bass fishing.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Well, the thing about that I like about bass fishing, what I don't like about some of the other fishing that my father-in-law always wants me to do, trolling and stuff, it's just boring.
Yeah.
You're just not doing
Oh,
jack.
yeah, that's-
You're not doing jack.
Yeah, that's kind of walleye fishing too. But,
But you're constantly working the bait. You're
Yeah.
constantly working the bait, and if that's not working, you're switching it up, working that bait, and you're always constantly trying different things.
it's a chess game.
Yeah, and you got to try to figure it out. And then once you get that first hit, you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
game on.
Game
You guys
on.
are toast.
And that's what literally hooks you.
Yep.
Like a treble hook right in the side of the mouth. Like, it is so addicting and an expensive hobby. But,
So
Everything's expensive, man.
I know.
There isn't anything that's cheap unless you're just walking around picking up rocks.
I know.
that's expensive, actually. Them ladies that paint, they spend a fortune on that stuff.
Yeah, what the Gallup rocks.
I've been looking at a rock. It looks like a cat. It looks like a real one.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look out, a hamster. Oh, it's just a rock.
Right.
Goofy.
They're all over the place. I was out fishing one time from a boat, platform, and there's just a rowboat, but we're fishing some lily pads. It was probably, I don't know, 5-6 feet deep. But I had this little bait. I'm going to show you here in a minute. That's why I grabbed from the tackle box before, because I don't know if you've ever used one of these, but I'm betting probably yes. And every time I would get a hit, my line would be slack because it's kind of like a little spook bait.
Yep.
You just kind of twitch it and it goes all random. And so they would just hit it and my line would jerk tight and I would set the hook and they'd be gone. It just wasn't quite hooking them, and I don't think they were getting a good grip to where the hook was able to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, too, being an experience, I was using monofilament. I don't know if you're using mono, if you're using like cables, like.
Yeah, so I use mono, I use fluoro, and I use braid.
Mhm.
So there's so much variety of, lures, plastics, hard baits, swim baits, top water, frogs to, creature baits. I don't know, 15 different ways you can fish these baits. 15 different, just ideas how to, slack line to taut line to, most likely you were setting the hook too quick with those walking baits because you said you would twitch it and it would just kind of, glide back and forth on the top water over these lily pads. So most likely what happened is they would come up and they would strike it and then your line would get tight and you would rip the treble hook. Probably, he didn't take the lure per se. You actually have to you almost have to count down 1, 2, boom, then set the hook, then you kind of give into it and then you're just wrenching it back into the boat. But yeah, there's so much technique involved.
Let me show you the
different. Break it out.
It was in the top shelf.
Okay.
That's how it was easy to get.
Ooh. So this is a miniature fluke. This actually.
It's funny because Dave had it in his pocket.
Yeah.
He pulls it out and it's in his fist.
Yeah.
And he just drops it in Shannon's hand. And to be honest with you, it looks like a lure that my father had.
Yeah. Well, I thought he might have.
It's old.
Threw a live frog in my hand there for a minute. I was like holding my hand out. And I'm like,
could have been an M80. You never know.
Yeah. Am I trusting this guy right now? Put some in my hand, but no. This bait really isn't a top water bait. This is more of a.
That's what I'm talking about.
And there you go. You can take. Think outside the box when it comes to bass fishing. Colors, different weights, different presentations on how to get these fish to bite is huge. That's why when you go out and if you're struggling to catch a fish, you throw the kitchen at them. Even if, somebody told you this lake, produces off a wacky rig or a drop shot rig, depending on, what you're targeting. But everything counts. Depth of water, warmth, how your water temperature, ledges, the bottom of the lake, if it's muddy, if the water's stained, if it's clear, all that plays a big role into, trying to hook a fish. Your cadence, if you're reeling back too slow, too fast, are you going to twitch, or are you going to pause? Are you going to let it sink down to the bottom of the lake to reel back?
So you could miss a fish just by not twitching right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
You could miss a fish if you have the wrong color on.
So with that bait, how is it supposed to be fished? Like in textbook?
Well, so I would do a weedless hook, and you could either have it weightless also, throwing it around lily pads, but it would be weightless, so it's going to
If you guys are listening to this podcast, I am going to take a picture of it, and it will be up on our Instagram.
No, you don't want to take a picture of this one.
Yeah, let's grab a different one.
I'm going to take a picture of it.
No, don't do it, because here's the thing.
Oh,
He's
okay.
going to win a tournament with this bait. Not the same one, but that little dude right there.
Nope, bam, got it.
Oh.
Well, here, get a better picture.
They actually...
People will know, kind of, just looks like a miniature fluke, but it almost mimics. We don't really have a shad spawn out here, but
They actually call that the Arkansas shad.
yeah, it's a shad.
That's what it's called on the
What it
package. I'll show you the box.
resembles,
Yeah.
But this actually could be hooked in its in the face, right here in the kind of in the front of the bait, and then put on like a drop shot rig. So you hook it right here. The weight's below the bait, so when you do throw it, it sinks to the bottom, and this thing's just sitting there.
Oh, twitching around.
Yeah, twitching around, kind of. Yeah, there's a number of ways to fish this bait. Again, you have to go out and see.
I'll tell you what, buddy. That one's yours.
How they're hitting it. Well, I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you.
You see all them holes? That's where the fish were hitting it.
Yeah, no.
And I didn't
that's
land
your
one.
That's where the hook.
That's your
That's where
hook
the hook's
holes.
going.
I know, but that's because I had to keep resetting it. They were whacking the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all over it.
Yeah.
Shannon's like, "Ooh, all right."
Well, you know what? I'll tie it on next time and see.
Put on a trophy and say the Lord that didn't get anything.
Well, it's just funny.
Put my name
because
under there.
I'm so competitive that I want to prove
That you can catch
myself
something
that I
up.
could catch something off this.
Oh my
guarantee
gosh.
you.
Old.
We're gonna get a picture,
I told you
and
he's
he's
gonna
gonna be
win a
like, "Nailed it."
Yeah.
He's going to win a tournament with that. Watch.
Hey, I got a
Challenge
tournament.
is
I got
on.
a tournament this Saturday, so I don't know if this one will help at the lake I'm going to. It's Silver Lake down in Cowlitz County, I believe. Is that right?
It's Thurston. Or,
Thurston.
No,
I
wait,
think
wait.
it's-
There's
where we-
more than one Silver Lake.
Oh, it's by St. Helens.
Yeah, it's the one right down.
Is
on
it the one out by Luke's house?
I'm having
'Cause
a.
that's Silver Lake as
No,
well.
not that one.
Not
The
the
Not
bigger
the
one.
little, not the pond.
No.
Okay, yeah,
504.
that one's way down.
Yeah, so we'll be out there 6 to blast off 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if
Have you been on that lake?
I've fished it. I took second 2 years ago on it. I got so lucky. Midday, me and my co-angler just, buzzed across the lake doing 3 miles an hour with our trolling motor. And I'm sitting.
You hear the propeller?
Yeah, just flying across, trying to get to the next spot to fish. And man, our battery started dying. And
Oh no.
I had one fish in the live well. And man, God threw me a fish. We pulled up to this stretch of lilies and casted out my chatterbait that I had no confidence in. And there's another good topic is confident baits, But I threw out that chatterbait and I had a almost 6-pound fish smack it.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, it was just like kind of a blind cast, and I literally was praying on the way over, just God, one fish, just give me a fish. We're closing in, like we got, an hour left of this tournament. Our battery's dying. We got winds on the lake, so we're going to have to row back to the weigh-in. And man, I caught this huge fish, and I was just, I was ecstatic, super stoked. But yeah, it paid off.
So I have a question. In these tournaments, what is your catch limit? So, I mean, can you toss back one that doesn't weigh as much as another one, as long as when you go back to the weigh, and you have like the largest fish that you've caught, or is it?
Yeah.
Go ahead and explain that.
So in our tournament,
I don't know anything about that.
yeah. So our format for this small club I'm in is a 3 fish limit. So you could only weigh in 3 of your best fish. So throughout the duration of the tournament, you're culling. So say I catch a 1.5 pound fish, I catch 2 3-pound fish. Well, of course, the one that's going to go is the 1.5 pounds because you're trying to get the max weight out of 3 fish. So as soon as I catch a fish and I get it in the boat, before I put that bigger fish in my live well, I have to throw the 1.5 pound fish out, and then now I got a new, added weight. So, just your more bigger tournaments, your standard tournaments, where like your open tournaments, or I call them big boat tournaments. It's a 5 fish limit. So your 5 best fish throughout, it could be even a 2-day tournament. It could be a Saturday or Sunday. So you got a cumulative weight from Saturday and Sunday, and then your overall, So Yeah, you gotta be on top of it. You gotta be on top of, culling fish. If you have a dead fish in your live well, you have to keep it. And all this kind of goes by, the honesty rule. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, there is those bad, ugly ducks out there that might bend the rules a little bit, but you got to just stay true to yourself and true to your competition. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You win. If you win and you did it in a shady way, then you'll know.
Yeah,
But I
and
mean,
they're out there, but
yeah.
some of these big tournaments, like the big bass tournament in Potholes, I believe, like, the winner of that 55,000 boat has to take a, polygraph. So they're taking a lie detector test, and, it's, it's,
I'd be nervous just going in
I
there. I'm
know.
like, polygraph? You kidding me?
I
I
know.
tell fish flies all the damn time.
Yeah, heart rate just jumps, like, yep.
That's hilarious. So tell me about your boat. You say you do a lot of trolling motor tournaments, but your battery's dying. Is there like a battery limit you could have in the boats, or?
No, just so the only like requirements during tournaments is like the size of your live well, basically, and you got to have an aerator to keep the fish alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty standard. All your state regulation, your horn and your ropes and life preservers. But so back then, 2 years ago, when we fished the Silver Lake, and I was bombing around, the lake trying to find fish. Of course, I only had like probably one 12-volt battery, right? Because I'm kind of just in a little boat. But of course, it's an expensive hobby, so I've been upgrading, and now the boat I'm fishing out of is a little bit bigger. It's a Ranger RT 188. It's got a big motor on the back. It's got 3 batteries. It's a 24-volt Ultrex trolling motor up front. So the good batteries, they're a marine battery. They're not lithium or anything because, again, everything's costly. And but I could troll around during these little club tournaments 8 hours and be fine.
Nice.
And then you have your fish finders and all that. We could talk about all the electronics that help you catch fish, also how to read them, and that probably is a whole nother podcast.
That's like a whole nother week training at Garmin,
100%. Yeah, they're so advanced now, and if you don't have them, you're going to get left behind. If you look at some of these guys on the Elite Series and the pro guys, they will. It's a video game. It's almost, I don't know if it takes the fun out of searching for that big bite. They're seriously staring it down at their feet, at their graphs the whole time they're fishing, especially if they're offshore fishing. But they're good. They've done it. They've got so much experience and so much time behind that front bow, their electronics, that they know what's a fish and what's not a fish on their sonar. So, yeah.
I think it's amazing, man. You guys, being from the Northwest, we do a lot of salmon and steelhead fishing, and most guys, a salmon or steelhead rod is going to typically be a bait caster, as with bass fishing. But if you're right-handed, you would hold the pole in your right hand and cast with your right hand and just reel with your left hand. Where a lot of bass fishermen, you see them, they'll cast with their left and switch to their right, then reel with their left.
It's actually an old school technique.
You do that?
No.
Okay. That was my question. Like, what the hell?
If you look at the average, or say you're going to compare, like, the ratio, right? Like who does it and who doesn't. Most of those guys that are doing the cast with the left arm and then they switch it to the right so they could, reel with their left, that their age number is probably over 40, because back then they didn't make the
switch.
Yeah, the switch. It was usually just the left-hand reel, and all these guys learned how to cast and then switch over. But now that they got the lefts and rights, instead of doing the switch over, it's quicker to just cast and, reel with your
And Shannon's a lefty.
positive. Yes.
Well, you won't see any of those in here.
Watch out, Conor McGregor.
He walks in a bass tournament swinging his arms like noodles.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Hops on his Ranger boat.
Notorious. No.
Y'all better just sign that check over now.
Yeah, right. But yeah, rods and reels. I mean, I've got so many, and just they're all different ratios, different size rods, different backbones, heavy, medium. The tips, fast action to stiff.
Damn.
for yeah.
Well, you see what I have
pitching
going
and-
on here.
Well,
Hey,
I would
it's a
say
good-
before we
that's a
get
good river
into
collection. I don't.
yeah, before we get into basically your gear, because I do want to dive into what's your go-to. Obviously, you have to figure that out as you're out there. But before we get into that, I want to do that's right, our giveaway.
Halftime giveaway.
Put in a couple
That's
extra
right.
Numbers. No.
We're gonna get into our giveaway, brought to you by Phelps Game Calls. We're giving away a predator call, the Fawn Jack, and Shannon is gonna pull out a number, and then I will read who the winner is.
Oh, hold on, Dave.
What?
How were they able to qualify for this?
They're able to qualify by looking at our Instagram and then tagging 2 people in the Instagram post.
That's Ridgeline Hunting Podcast
That's
That is
it?
right.
at Instagram. Okay.
On Instagram, yeah.
Super simple.
Yep. And the
Hold
more
on, let me
people,
do that real quick.
It's close. It's
It's
close.
too late.
It's
It's too
close.
late, yeah.
It's close.
All right.
So
I-
how many
I
people?
tried,
How many
Shannon.
people do we have in the hat?
We have 10 people in the hat.
Okay.
So I mean, your chances of winning are pretty high.
Shannon,
Yeah.
if you will do the honors, grab the winning name and put it in the palm of my hand.
It's gonna be a number.
Oh, a number.
Yep, a
Okay.
number.
I thought
I
there was
couldn't
gonna be a
write
name.
whole names on there.
Did you post the names on Instagram or no?
The names are on.
There's
Instagram.
a lucky number.
All right.
So how do we
drum
know?
roll?
I have it. I
Oh, you
have
got it written down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come
Okay.
on, man. Come on,
So
man.
let's read the numbers.
No.
Okay, we're just gonna
You're
read
gonna
the
tell me the
Yeah.
number.
Okay, here we go. Number 2.
Ooh.
Ooh, number 2, the Rugged Arts.
Nice.
Yeah,
Where are
actually,
they located?
he is here in Washington.
Okay.
I'm actually shooting hoodoo with him.
Oh, you're going there?
Yeah.
Oh man, full disclosure.
He is.
Maybe we
he's
should
from here.
Maybe we should draw another one. I think we should draw another one. Yeah, we should draw another one. Do another one.
Edit.
Shannon, if you will. No, we're gonna not edit it. We'll just keep it full disclosure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's all right.
New number. Sorry, number 2. Mike will help you with gas money.
It's not Mike.
Oh, whoever number 2 is.
And now we're looking for. Dang, I have a trouble with this number on Uno because it has to have a line under it.
Is it a 6 or a
It's
9?
it's
Oh,
a-
goodness.
Yeah, it's a 6 or a 9.
Oh, that's a 6.
That's a 6.
Maggie CB.
All right, Maggie.
CB. So I will be messaging you. Yeah, I'll be messaging you on Instagram, and all we need is your address, and we will be sending you Phelps Game Call, the Fawn Jack.
Sweet man.
Like to hear it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, the Rugged Arts, I got something for you, man. I got something.
If
for
you weren't
Don't
shooting a tournament with him,
Yeah.
we got to be
Well,
careful.
he's here from the Northwest, man, and we're gonna do a podcast while we're out there, and
Yeah.
he's supporting the podcast and everything. So
Yeah.
I'll hook him up with something.
I got some switchblade arrows.
No, you don't. You don't got those anymore.
So
have those anymore.
what's your next drawing going to be, Dave?
So our next drawing will be coming after 400 downloads. So instead of us going off of listens,
Uh-huh.
you need to actually download it,
Okay.
and it's just a different avenue for us to
Promote and kind of
Yeah.
get your name out there.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Because if we go off of listens, we're at 5,000.
Wow.
We're actually doing really well
Yeah.
Mhm.
through the platforms that we're going. I mean, yes, sorry everybody for not having a podcast out the last couple weeks.
It's life.
A couple weekends ago, I got sick. A lot of other things happened in family life, and then
You had a really good one though.
I lost the SD card that had our episode on it. So
Can't be doing that.
yeah, so if I end up finding it, it will be the lost episode.
Yeah, it'll be sick too.
And it will be episode 12 because I actually say yes, this is episode 12, blah 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 blah. Well, that episode's gone, so I have no idea where it is. I've scoured the house. Oh my gosh, I was all over the place over the weekend, but yeah,
Oh,
Hope it comes up.
All right.
Be
we'll
awesome.
see.
Well, you want to take a 5-minute break and get back?
Yeah,
to
let's do it.
Yeah, let's we're gonna take a break. This is gonna be part 1 of our bass talk.
the Bass Classic, I guess.
Bass Marathon.
There we go.
Do it.
All right.